Okay, good evening, USA, International Canada, Long Island, aka Strong Island, plus the 5 spots of Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, Queens. This is your man G Money Stacks, aka the Gregonator, YouTuber, creator, host with the most, misunderstood lonely nomad, and rookie podcaster of Laurelton, Queens, New York. And you are rocking and listening and hanging out with me on the 206th episode of Off the Meat Rack Chainz New York podcast. Live and direct from StreamYard alongside with YouTube and alongside with the Instagram live feed of the podcast show page. Make sure you turn on your notifications so you don't miss a beat. And of course, if you're new to the channel in the YouTube universe and you miss any previous episodes whatsoever, please feel free to go to the YouTube channel of G Money Stacks 555, where you see all the New York episodes on there. Tap that noni bell so you can be reminded when the show goes in the air via live stream and the time of the recording is going to start. More upcoming episodes, previous episodes, and of course, more video content. Make sure you share the episodes, the videos, download the episodes, very important. And be sure to tell a friend to another friend, and I will handle the rest at the end of the show. So there you go. Right there. Now I do apologize for the delay of the upcoming episodes due to a long day of work. I was very tired, and that's why I had to, postpone it. But I am going to actually, not only record this episode, but the other episodes coming up. So, anyway, what I want to do, here's what I want to do first, actually. Here's what I want to do first. All right. Hold on. A little mental health checking first, man. All right. Yes, as far as how I'm feeling mentally, physically, and spiritually, I am doing all right so far. Managed to, turn the page from last week. So I'm not really too fixated on it too much. So, you know what I'm saying? So mentally, physically, and spiritually, overall, I am doing all right. And for the most part, and the most part, I know everybody's looking forward into Thanksgiving in terms of the things that they are thankful for. I'm actually gonna actually dedicate that to episode 211. You know what I'm saying? That's coming up next week. So and let's see. I want to actually do a little recap. I do want to do a little recap on the previous episode of 205 because what happened was I had accidentally pressed something and I have to actually you know give you a feeling because what happened was I had accidentally pressed some there was a glitch on my tablet that was preventing me to post the live stream episode. So it'll be only right if I actually do a little recap and stuff. So it's better to do a little recap on the previous topics in a previous episode because it's a lot easier to do. So, you know, um so yeah, that's what we're going to do right here. But first, let me do a little adjustment here on the color. I'll try to bring it down a bit. Sorry about that. Um all right, so let me just lift hold on a second. I hope y'all are doing all right throughout your week. I know some people are looking forward to spending Thanksgiving with their families, relatives, friends, and stuff. But I know some people, including the some of the truck drivers, probably have to work on Thanksgiving, which is which I find it crazy because I was actually talking with some of the with some of the truck drivers and stuff, and it's crazy to me that um some of the truck drivers, they barely they, and I feel bad for them because they barely get any breaks. They barely get any breaks, to be honest with you. So I'm like, damn. I'm like, I personally don't want to be on the road too much, only because it's a little it's a little difficult for me to actually do something like that. So I can't really imagine myself, being on the road all day long, because being on the road all day long can really take a toll out of a person, mentally. It does take a toll out of a person, especially if they don't get no rest. And I don't think it's fair at all, because I don't think it's fair at all. So that's my take on that. So that's pretty much how I feel and my take on it, though. So let me just get to hold on a second. Um okay, so let me see. Um Hold on, here's what we could do. Hold on a second. Here's what we could do. Okay. All right. So I know exactly what to do. Okay, so I'm gonna do a little recap on episode 205. So with the topics and stuff that was discussed, in case you didn't see it on Instagram Live, I'm gonna do a little recap. So in the previous episode of 205, we talked about the Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey movie trailer. A Brooklyn, New York native performing arts teacher selected for 25 grand. A slashing with a sword by Chambers Street, Times Square subway stabbing, subway crime, a brute attack of a push that pushed a woman down on the stairway, breaks her back in Queens. I believe it's in Jackson Heights, if I'm not mistaken. Um, Chaos in Queens involving a bus accident, which I already previously talked about, and I think the driver did the right thing by jumping out the window, because with the lone gunman, he was pretty calm though, man. I mean, it is some intense, scary, traumatic stuff though. Um and And I did talk about the actress from Walker Independence, Catherine McNamara, that talked to Jared Padalecki, who is in the original reboot of Walker, which is on Thursdays at 8 and Thursdays at 9 for Walker Independence. So, and I did talk about I did talk about Starbucks metal work layoff in terms of Elon Musk, who is a lousy piece of shit. And we did talk about Creed 3, the trailer, and the release date. And did talk about Black Adam, that stayed at number one last week. Um Nas's King's Disease already came out already, and the DLC NYC with a massive lineup of documentaries. And then I mentioned about some things to do for the 3-day weekend, which I do on a weekly basis. So so there you have it. A recap of episode 205 and the topics. Now, we're gonna get into today's episode. Today's episode varies with National Banana Split Day, um another subway attack again. Now we're gonna get into a little something that I like to call the New York Mass Transit Files right here. So let's get into it right here. All right. And this is a segment about what's going on with our New York mass transit stuff in our subways and buses and stuff, especially Long Island. But in this case, this is regarding another incident. So let's get into it right here. All right. So, all right. All right. What we have here is, according to the New York Post, here's what's happened. A man was stabbed in the back inside a Manhattan subway station Thursday, cops said. The strap hanger was knifed by a male attacker around 1 p.m. inside the 125th Street A, B, C, and D station in Harlem, authorities said. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the victim was taken to Mount Sinai Morningside, where he was listed in stable condition. The suspect ran out of the station after the attack and is yet to be caught. He was last seen wearing blue glasses, blue jeans, and a blue jacket, police said. The motive for the broad daylight attack was not immediately clear. The incident comes less than a week after a homeless man who was out on bail in another subway altercation allegedly fatally stabbed a dad of two on a Brooklyn L train. You think that's crazy? I got more for you. So you you think that's crazy? I got really some crazier news to talk about, but let's get into some other stuff right here. Um, let's get into some other stuff right here. So let's get into the Bronx community. All right, so um, and this is from the Bronx Times. So here's what's going on here. As most community boards in the Bronx have recently been notified about a new car share program, some are seeing more parking spots earmarked for the program than others, with community districts 9 and 12 getting more than 10 times as many as community districts 5 and 6. All right. Before I continue, let me give a little quick reminder here. You're more than welcome to give a charitable donation to my Cash App to support this show. The Cash App is $ G Money Stacks 555. That's $ capital G lowercase MONEY capital S lowercase TACKZ 555. It's not about breaking the bank. It's all about doing the best you can on whatever amount of money you desire and comfortable with will be appreciated. And also you can leave a 5-star rating on Podchaser, Podfriend, and alongside with Spotify as well as Apple Podcasts. So 5-star rating will be appreciated. So there you go, right there. Okay. Now that I got that out the way, let's continue. Um, in the new citywide program, the NYC Department of Transportation will reserve public parking spots for on-demand short-term rental cars that drivers can reserve from their smartphones through car share companies, Zipcar, Get Around, and True TrueQuit. The effort comes after a 2018 to 2020 City Council mandated car share pilot that DOT deemed successful. Um, as part of the pilot, DOT reserved municipal parking spots for the rental cars in select neighborhoods throughout the city, including street parking in the Parkchester and Soundview sections of the Bronx, parking lots of Belmont Avenue and White Plains Road, and the Jerome Avenue 190th Street parking garage. While the car sharing industry had already been in NYC for years, company utilized private parking facilities prior to the city initiative. The program is meant to lower household transportation costs, improve mobility options, reduce congestion, and improve local air quality by adding another shared mobility option that could inspire residents to sell their car or delay purchasing one, according to DOT. I don't know how that's gonna work, but okay. A DOT report on the pilot also found that car owners are incentivized to use their vehicle as much as possible because of the upfront cost of the vehicle and insurance. But car share members evaluate each trip to see if it's more worthwhile than biking, walking, or using public transit, in turn driving less. The city agency is reviewing sites and conducting outreach as part of the program launch and anticipates the program will launch soon. DOT spokesperson Vincent Barone told the Bronx Times. In the Bronx, community boards have received letters from DOT with a list of what the agency is describing as a preliminary approved sites for boards to review. But the board times has learned that while some boards have been told more than 30 sites have been approved for their community district, others have less than 10. While the letters from DOT list off the requested site locations for each district, they do they do not specify that each site actually incorporates two parking spots. The Bronx Times obtain the list of parking locations from all the borough's community boards except for Community Board 1. Chair um, Arlen Parks is not aware of a program notification, and DOT did not respond by press time as to whether the board was sent one. The parking spots are requested by the three cars, no, excuse me, car share companies participating in the program and must follow citing criteria, like the spots being in unmetered curbside parking lanes. Barone told the Bronx Times that there is no set number of spaces planned for the Bronx, and all site requests are evaluated to ensure fair distribution throughout the city. The program requires companies to put 20% of their car share um, parking spots in equity zones or historically under served neighborhoods identified as tier one priority investment areas in the DOT neighborhood streets plan. Much of the Bronx is categorized as an equity zone. Community districts 9 and 12, which have the most preliminary spots, include many neighborhoods marked as equity zones, but community districts 5 and 6, which have spots, um, least spots put forward so far, are made up entirely of these zones. Um, Community Board 9 District Manager William Rivera told the Bronx Times that board members have questions for DOT, which they plan to discuss at the November Transportation Committee meeting. We are concerned about parking being taken away from residents, and there are a lot of new proposed car share location requests, Rivera said. We want to make sure what the city is doing makes sense. It's unclear how Community Board 12 will react to losing more than 60 parking spots for the program. Members have felt strongly about um, protecting local parking in the past, but were supportive of a new White Plains Road redesign that removed more than 100 parking spots. CB12 District Manager George Torres told the Bronx Times he hasn't heard from the board members about the program yet and doesn't expect to hear much feedback from the community until the car share spots are already on the street. But he takes issue with the way DOT is approaching the project. And he said, in quote, they are unilaterally doing this without a vote from the community board. And so we will evaluate it as we do get complaints. But they basically rolled this out like they rolled out every other initiative. Because regardless of whether the community board was supportive or not, they've implemented these things, he said. Theodore James, a community board 12 member board member who sits on the board's transportation committee and was against the White Plains Road redesign, said he would rather drive his own car than a vehicle others could easily access and potentially damage. I can't trust the safety on that vehicle, he told the Bronx Times. This is an expensive piece of machinery, which is a weapon in your hand, literally. Out of 30 parking spots um, in the Bronx that were used in the pilot, there was an average of 28 trips per month and 21 unique drivers, while citywide there were 24 trips per month with 17 unique drivers across 280 parking spots. The program will launch on a rolling basis, and more car share companies will be able to register in future application periods. According to Sean Garcia, a, a Bronx and Uptown organizer for advocacy group Transportation Alternatives, the, the average car is parked nearly 95% of the time while costing more than $10,000 a year to own and operate. Hmm. Yeah. Okay. So we have some people come in. So yeah. So oh, that's Fetty and that's awesome cookie, aka Robbie. Hope you're feeling better. Um, hope everything's all right. Anyway, yes. So, car share can play an important role in reducing car dependency by giving people access to cars when they need them. Garcia said in a statement to the Bronx Times, "Our city leaders must also invest in bike and transit infrastructure to give New Yorkers more efficient, sustainable, and reliable ways to get around." Yes. And of course, you can reach out to Aaliyah Schneider at a Schneider um at schnepmedia.com, or you could call at 718-260-4597. Of course, for more coverage, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Bronx Times. Um, you can also, for all the people that's living in the Bronx right now, jump in the comments and let me know what you think about this whole thing with the DOT and the redesigns of White Plains Road and the parking lots being taken away. Let us know in the comments, especially on YouTube and of course around and of course around the Instagram live feed. You could chime in on this topic right here. So let us know how you feel about the parking spots being taken away and stuff. I know there's some mixed feelings about it, but let us know in the comments on there as well. Hold on a minute. Let's see what she says here. Hey, happy Wednesday, Robin. Yeah, I am doing the best I can, man. And thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I really appreciate that. That really, 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 really That really helps my spirits, though. Yeah. All right. So, so let's get to, of course, let's get to the other transit topic right here, which includes the comprehensive NYC Greenway Plan for bike pedestrian infrastructure passes for city bikes. Now, I'm not gonna have time to get to. Hold on a second. I'm not gonna have time to get to the city bike batteries that caused the fire, but I'm gonna do it in a future episode. So, um, this one right here is a little different. All right, so the city council approved a bill Thursday that would require New York to create a master plan for greenways for the first time in 3 decades, amid a boom in cycling instigated by the slamdemic. Okay, the bill requires the city to study and gather community input on locations where greenways are feasible, with a focus on low income communities and neighborhoods of color, which have historically seen less investment in bike infrastructure, and issue a final plan by December 2024 with an update in 2026 and every 5 years thereafter. The city will also have to create an official map of current under construction and planned greenways, plus status updates for segments that are temporary closed. All of us are here today because we believe in the future where New Yorkers of all backgrounds, ages, and abilities from every neighborhood and every borough can easily find open space and safely access active transportation, said Manhattan Council member Carlina Rivera. The bill's main sponsor at a press conference ahead of the city council's stated meeting on Thursday. Um, Greenways, in essence, are highways for cyclists and pedestrians. They differ from regular bike lanes by being significantly separated from any motor vehicle traffic, which is banned on the greenway itself. Is that so? Cycling advocates have long pushed for a fully connected greenway around the city, utilizing waterfront space and inland rights of way throughout the five boroughs to enable safe, frictionless, environmentally friendly travel. The need for a full connected greenway network has been recognized for a long time. The last citywide greenway plan was unveiled in 1993 during the administration of the late Mayor David Dinkins. But 30 years later, the city greenways are not an integrated travel network, but a hodgepodge of paths of inconsistent quality. The Greenway push was renewed after the city won a $7.25 million grant from the federal Department of Transportation to build new greenway segments and maintain existing ones. It also comes amidst a boom in biking generated by the slamdemic. Daily cycling trips have more than doubled since 2011, according to the city DOT, with estimates north of 200 million bike trips in 2021. Um, After the slamdemic that prompted a cycling boom here in New York City, it's clear that we need to invest in our greenways and meet people where they are, said Queens Council member Selvina Brooks Powers, chair of the Transportation Committee. We have a real opportunity here to make a profound impact on our greenways now. And of course, bike advocates applauded the bill passage, which was nearly unanimous, save for a single no vote by Brooklyn Council member Kelman Yeager. John Orcutt of Bike New York said that the bill gives an opportunity to make real infrastructure for cyclists instead of just flimsy paint. The bill passing is great news. Orcutt said the city has been trying to paint its way to bike friendliness with very mixed results. Let's build more real infrastructure for cycling and start with the citywide plan. All right, you can jump in the comments on this topic right here, which how you feel about it in the comments on YouTube and of course by Instagram Live as well. So there you have it, right there. Um, okay, so now that we got that out the way, we are going to get to something terrible that happened to one of the people who goes by the name of Chris Red. Something terrible happened to him. You want to know what's going to go down? So let's get into it. So we're going to get into chatting on the jazz right here. Chris Red is going to be the first story to talk about here. Something very terrible happened. So let's get into it. All right, so we go to Chris Red. All right, so Chris Red. Let's get to it. So let's start from there. All right, so weeks ago, of course, SNL's Chris Red was leveled by a single punch in the front of about a dozen shocked onlookers outside the Comedy Cellar in NYC, and the scary attack was caught on video. Damn. Newly released surveillance footage from the club obtained by NBC News shows the exact moment an assailant threw a crushing blow to the face of the comedian, knocking Red clear off his feet. You can see Chris writhing in excuse me, writhing in pain after the punch. That's crazy, man. That's really crazy right here. That's really crazy and fucked up right there. Um, that's crazy. Red was on his way inside the venue for his late night act Wednesday, but he had to take a detour to the hospital for his badly bruised no badly injured nose. Red's performance was canceled, but thankfully he's going to be okay as he nurses two black eyes and a gash to his nose. TMZ broke the story. Red drove up to the Comedy Cellar in Greenwich Village and got out of his vehicle only to be attacked by the assailant. The suspect, who was apparently wearing brass knuckles and a security guard uniform, then ran off. Police do not have a motive for the assault, though the attacker grabbed his chain. It broke into pieces and was recovered. We're told Chris is cooperating with investigators, but has not been able to identify his attacker and a possible accomplice. Cops have collected surveillance footage in the hopes of identifying the perpetrators. Okay. Another update about Chris Red, of course. All right. So the update for comedian Chris Red has opened up about the attack outside a New York City comedy club last week that left him bloodied and hospitalized. This man hit me in the face with something metal, Red says in a new interview with the Daily Beast. I thought it was brass knuckles because of the way it cut my nose to the bone. The attack outside the fan comedy cellar occurred on October 26th as Red was heading inside to perform a show. The unknown assailant quickly approached the former Saturday Night Live cast member and sucker punched him in the face, then fled the scene. Red tells the Daily Beast does not think the incident was an attempted mugging, and that he was less concerned about the pain than the amount of blood flowing from his face. And he was at Bellevue Hospital. He was treated for fractures in his nose and cheek. A fist don't normally do all that at one time, Red says. So it was safe to assume I was hit with something, but the dude just hit me and ran off. I fell down so fast, I didn't even know I fell until I looked at the surveillance footage. Red says he initially wanted to proceed with the comedy cellar show, noting if we could have stopped the bleeding, I would have went on stage. I was like, I can't wait to talk about this shit. He says he was later glad he waited, but that was my first thought. The comic says he's already working on jokes about the incident. So previously on October 28th, comedian Chris Red, of course, obviously, was attacked outside the comedy cellar in Greenwich Village on Wednesday night. What has been released from the hospital, the Los Angeles Times reported. Deadline has confirmed that the former Saturday Night Live cast members' subsequent show at New York City's winery on Sunday has been canceled. The club said in a statement that the show has been canceled due to an unforeseen scheduling conflict. Deadline also reached out to Red's rep and will add any comment received. It would be a third gig that Red has understandably missed since the attack. The comedian, of course, did not perform Wednesday night. He was also scheduled to perform at the Comedy Cellar on Thursday, but according to the club's owner, Norm DeWarman, the comedian was still recovering. Per multiple reports, Red was cold cocked by a male assailant on Wednesday night as he approached the front door of the club where he was scheduled to perform. There is no known motive for the assault, which police characterize as occurring without prior conversation or provocation. The former Saturday Night Live cast member was left with a facial laceration and later admitted to a local hospital. The woman told NBC New York that he is deeply upset about what happened and we hope he's okay. We want him back as soon as possible. The next show currently listed on Red's website was November 11th in Tacoma, Washington. As for the assailant, he got away. Authorities have since released a photo of a suspect in hopes of capturing him. Hopefully they do, because that's messed up though. You know what I'm saying? That's really messed up though, man. Um, that's really fucked up though, in a sense though. Hey, what's up, Dominique, aka Dominatrix? Long time no see. Haven't heard from you. I hope everything is all right. I hope you enjoyed your vacation while you was out of town. And all that other great stuff what right there. I'll catch up to you after I'm done with my podcast recordings in a few minutes. So anyway, all right, up next. Let's get to hold on a minute. We got another one. I forgot about this story too, man. I forgot about this story right here. I forgot about this story right here. So um this was supposed to be in part of transit New York Mass Transit files, but I forgot about that right there. So a man died early Monday morning after being struck by an oncoming train in Midtown. The latest death on the tracks in one of the subway system's deadliest months in memory. Police sources said the operator of a Bronx bound D train spotted a man in the track bed at the 47th 50th Street's Rockerfeller Center subway station at 5:46 a.m. on October 31st. The unidentified man was quickly pronounced deceased. It's unclear whether he was hit by the same train he was spotted from or by an earlier train. Police are still investigating how the man ended up on the tracks, whether it was deliberate or accidental. The incident generated extensive delays for Monday morning strap hangers along the B, D, F, and M lines. The Bronx bound D train was rerouted to the A line, which caused delays on both lines as they shared tracks, while Bronx bound B service was suspended. Yeah, I know what it feels like to be stranded because of all this drama and all this craziness that's going on with these subway crimes and stuff like that. Um, so the F train and M also saw delays. Queensbound F trains were rerouted along the G line, while the M stopped running into northern Queens. Damn, that's crazy, man. Wow. An MTA spokesperson said that the delays had been resolved and service had been restored along the lines. The man's demise um, culminates in unusually deadly months for the transit system. Numerous people died on the rails or in subway stations in October, whether by accident, suicide, or murder, with many incidents drawing headlines. 15-year-old Jajan J. John, Barnett was fatally shot on an A train in Far Rockaway on October 14th, 3 days later. 48-year-old um Huri, Heriberto Quintana died after being struck by an F train at Jackson Heights Roosevelt Avenue, having found himself on the tracks following a physical altercation. Uh, a number of others have died after jumping in front of an oncoming train. October's non fatal incidents have also put strap hangers on edge. One 62-year-old man was sucker punched and fell to the tracks at the 149th Street Grand Concourse Station in the South Bronx, allegedly the victim of the knockout game, where participants attempt to knock out strangers in a single slug, police say. Oh my gosh, man. Really? Really? Okay, this is getting out of hand. This is really getting out of hand though, man. You know what I'm saying? And I hope this crazy shit was not part of a TikTok challenge. If it's part of a TikTok challenge, please take it off. Anyway, days before that, a 32-year-old broke his collarbone after being randomly shoved onto the tracks at the Myrtle and Wyckoff Avenue station straddling the Brooklyn and Queens border. Another woman fractured her spine after being on pushed down the stairs at 82nd Street Jackson Heights stop on the 7th line, which will be a separate episode that I'll probably cover. Mayor Eric Adams and Governor Kathy Hochul last week announced that the system would be a surge of cops to establish omnipresence and deter would be brutes and good for nothings from committing violent acts in stations or on trains. Man, damn son, that's really crazy to me. Let's see. Let me see what else. Um, yeah, yeah. Let's see what else can we talk about here. Oh, um, okay. Let's talk National Banana Split Day for a sec. Yeah, I've been meaning to talk about this topic as well, man. So let's lean into a little breathing room from all the terrible stories that we just talked about here. So let's get into what this is about. So this is Go Bananas. Um this is Go Bananas. Because of August 25th, it's National Banana Split Day. Give your taste buds the thrill of delicious ice cream and luscious chocolate covering a fresh banana topped off with nuts, a cherry, and whipped cream. Surprisingly, the original banana split wasn't created in an ice cream parlor, but in a pharmacy in 1904. Oh, wow. Banana splits were the brainchild of David Evans Strickler, a pharmacist apprentice who enjoyed experimenting with new soda fountain sundaes in his free time. They were so popular with the college crowd that students willingly paid 10 cents, double the price of a normal sundae. Try a banana split today and you'll understand why this amazing dessert is a classic. Okay, so I'm not even gonna get into the activities. I'm not gonna get into the activities though, man. So, why we love National Banana Split Day, you ask? Um, it's the perfect shareable dessert, usually served with 3 scoops of ice cream, fudge, whipped cream, a banana split in half, and a cherry. This dessert is the perfect family style dessert. Yeah, how about that though, man? How about that? You have so many choices. Choose your ice cream flavors and toppings. Drizzle different chocolates on top and slice your bananas in different ways. This dessert offers endless flavor combos so you can adapt banana splits to your own and unique and finicky taste. It's an old school dessert. For decades, banana splits have been a family favorite in ice cream parlors and soda fountains across America. Maybe it's because banana splits rekindle that childhood nostalgia, helping us find the joy in simple old-fashioned things like ice cream, fudge, and bananas. Yeah, that's not bad. That's actually not a bad idea. So so next year, August 25th will be will be banana split day, which is going to be on a Friday. 2024 of the same date will be Sunday. 2025 will be Monday. 2026 will be Tuesday. 2027 will be on Wednesday. Okay. All right. That was your fill in on that was your fill in on the that was your fill in on the banana split day. So um okay, so let's get into pinky space. Okay. Pinky space. Okay, so let's get into it though. So a trendy Lower East Side restaurant has been forced to shut down to get all together. Hold on, let me just leave that for wait a minute. Let me just leave that. Actually, I'm already there. I'm already here, so anyway. Um yeah, a trendy Lower East Side restaurant has been forced to shut down altogether after the city tore down its outdoor dining structure and garden, and its owner is planning to sue for property damage and loss of business. Side Dish has learned. Peaky Space, a self-described food art space at 70 East First Street, has spent $50,000 on its eye-popping 30-foot long structure that was decorated with neon lights and even a disco ball during the slamdemic. The city's Department of Transportation leveled it on October 27th. Oh Lord. Wow. Wow. We are still devastated. We haven't been able to fully reopen, and we have to restructure our business model because 90% of our business was from roadway dining, said Mimi Blitz, who opened the hot spot with Wesley uh, Wobles in 2018. We had a living, breathing business here, Blitz added. We made sure it looked good and was up to code. Outdoor sheds that sprung up during the slamdemic have become a topic of debate as some abandoned outdoor structures have attracted vagrants and rodents. The DOT. Hold on a minute. Yes, the DOT spokes spokesman. Um, wait. The DOT. Wait a minute. Hang on a minute. Yes, the DOT spokesman Vincent Barone told Side Dish Pinky Space is one of about 100 outdoor dining sheds removed by DOT. He previously told the Post that Pinky Space had received three non-compliance warnings since August. Um um Hamudo Lieberman of law firm Hellbron and Levy said there was no justification for the city to destroy Pinky's private property. The lawyer has been in talks with Pinky's about taking the case. Pinky's was served one or two cease and desist notices to correct and become compliant with the open restaurants program, but the city doesn't have, excuse me, the city doesn't have the authority to cause property damage, and Pinky's outdoor structure wasn't in imminent threat or danger, Lieberman said. DOT's arbitrary enforcement of cease and desist notifications is inappropriate. Lieberman added that she has rep two other restaurants who declined to be named, whose structures have been destroyed, and others who have been targeted for potential destruction by the city. Blitz was shocked when city workers came to dismantle the shed. We have no indication they were taking the structure down, taking my whole livelihood down, Blitz said. Some of the DOT workers were laughing at us. They took the lights, every piece of wood, and the astroturf. Adding salt to the wound, Blitz said was that the DOT was helping neighboring restaurants who had been hit with similar violations to keep their sheds. The day they took our structure down, they were helping the building next door comply to code. It's frustrating. I don't understand, she said. For working restaurants like Pinky's Space, the sheds provided a lifetime during and after the slamdemic. End quote. We have spent so much time and effort to create a beautiful garden for our customers and our community, and it was our advertising as well. Blitz said, "We are still confused as to what happened. We see abandoned shacks and structures that are dangerous safety hazards. Why are they still up, and why did DOT take ours away?" A rep for Pinky Space had initially told the Post the shed cost $25,000. But Blitz said that that figure was incorrect because everything had happened so fast. She didn't have time to calculate properly. More than 12,600 self-certified dining structures are registered in the DLT's outdoor dining program. There is no word from the city on when restaurateurs can expect guidance on new permanent outdoor dining structures rules. What the city decides to do with its open restaurants program is a different issue. Destroying private property is too much and well beyond the city's purview and scope of authority, Lieberman said. French fave Angelina coming to Lex. We hear that um Parisian favorite Angelina is opening at 1115 Lexington Avenue. 1115 Lexington Avenue, which is also part of 150 East 78th Street. A new 15-story Robert A.M. Stern design condo building developed by Maywood Investment and Development. The 700 square foot spot is a luxury boutique with all the Angelina's signature pastries and desserts, according to Douglas Elements, Hillel Horowitz, and Pierre Cadorsi, who rep Angelina Paris. The landlord was rep by Ripco Real Estate, Beth Rosen, and Emily Simmons. The 10-year lease was last asking 350 in rent per square foot. And for an even bigger taste of France, Angelina also launched a hot chocolate pop up inside um L Avenue, which is I think Lexington Avenue is what it stands for. The famed fashionista hotspot on Avenue Montaigne in Paris. That also boosts a flagship outpost at Saks Fifth Avenue. The popular French um patisserie, patisserie, famed for its hot chocolate and eclairs, opened its first U.S. spot at 1050 6th Avenue in November 2020. Ah, wow. That's gotta really suck though, man. That has to really suck. Um, that has to really suck though, man. And that has to suck. All right, let's go to Frank Ocean. Let's go to Frank Ocean for a sec. Um, all right, so this is according to Billboard. Frank Ocean is launching his brand new Homo Radio with Apple Music One. The 1 hour show is set for Thursdays at 10 p.m. Eastern. In quote, someone's vacuuming the carpets, adding a distant layer of white noise to the sound, Ocean said in a cryptic statement about the show. Security is pacing off some boredom while pretending to check the rooms and the safes on the rehearsed patrol. A headshot loaded with gadgetry helps a man who dons it to see, with its grids of light and lenses and loupes. The singer songwriter show shares a name with his Homer jewelry line, which the artist founded in August 2021. The name is inspired by the Greek poet Ocean said um in Ocean said in an interview with Financial Times. Hmm. While Ocean's fans are finally receiving a project from him in the radio show, the singer is known for his long breaks from both music and the public. His last album, Blonde, was released in 2016, while his most recent songs are DHL, um, Cayendo, and Dear April. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. No, that's not what I meant to do. That is not what I meant to do. That's not what I meant to do. Um, yeah, here it is. Okay. It seems like Ocean is meshing the radio show with his years old jewelry line. The launch of the show accompanied a post on the company's Instagram page set against a background image of the hustle and bustle of a city. In addition to a lack of music, there's been a lot made of Ocean's lack of performances too. The singer has been vocal about how his mental health struggles have impacted his desire to perform on stage, but he does have at least two dates on the calendar next year, back to back weekends as a Coachella 2023 headliner. Yeah, mental health matters, man. I mean, you can't really function on stage if you're basically um if you're basically going through something. Like I was just talking with someone yesterday on the Poker Chat app, and what I was trying to tell this person who's also a New Yorker, basically what happened. what happens to a music artist is like the only reason why sometimes they'll take like they'll take maybe 5 to 10 years off is because sometimes they're either going through like a mental blockage. When you're going through a mental blockage, folks, especially creatively speaking, whether it's in music, whether it's in anything that you're trying to do, you you're gonna you're gonna end up in a slump at some point. Sometimes you're not gonna be able to please everybody with the high expectations. You're not gonna please everybody. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter whether they expect it or not. And for the most important thing is to do you. Don't worry about the high expectations of people. You know what I mean? The high the problem with the people with high expectations is like it's like they expect too much. It's the same shit when a person has excess baggage. They got too much excess baggage to actually do what too much excess baggage to actually expect a person to actually come out with a music project and stuff like that. And and I want to actually say this though, man, as far as relevance. You could be relevant in other things too. It's not just music. You can be relevant in other things like business ventures, whether you whether you are an actor, whether you are creating a radio show, whether you are creating a podcast, or whatever it may be. Whatever it may be, don't let the high expectations stop you from thinking about your mental health. We saw that in Small Biles. We saw that in Shakari Richardson. We saw that in other people. Even what you call it, Zachary Levi. I didn't get a chance to touch on his story in a mental health check-in segment. I didn't get a chance to talk about that as well. But um the point I'm trying to make here is sometimes you got to be patient sometimes, man. I mean, you're not going to be able to get everything all the time every year. Like, come on, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I actually mentioned to him about and he brought up about 21 Savage and stuff, which I will touch on that in a future episode as far as Nas being relevant and stuff like that. But I'm not gonna have time to cover that. But I'll do a separate episode in regards to that. Um and I'll give my take on it though, man. And as far as relevance, you know what I'm saying? So that would be a further conversation about relevance as far as anything else. It's not just music only. You could be relevant. You could be relevant in other things too. So so that's just me. And another thing before I go on to the next topic here is when it comes to certain songs, not every music artist is obligated to actually talk about political shit as far as racial issues, as far as like you know shootings and all that other shit whatsoever. Every music artist and everybody else is not obligated to be talking about this stuff, man. Why are people forcing other people to actually talk about these things when they're not obligated to do that? And not everybody has the same story of a police brutality or any other story whatsoever that I see online. And I think sometimes we gotta put aside our high expectations on people. And this is where peer pressure comes in when it comes to mental health. We gotta alleviate the pressure off of people who's going through a mental health situation, as far as like a Frank Ocean. Frank Ocean's been dealing with that, like I just said just now in the story, and he's dealing with it right now, along with other people. along with other people that's actually dealing with this right now. They're actually doing the best they can to help themselves. So that's pretty much what I want to touch base on. The people that's actually doing something for themselves to actually get help. Not the ones that refuse not to get help on. I'm not talking about any more Kanye West stories anymore, although his crazy ass got sued, which I will talk about. I will talk about that in a future episode as well. So that's my take on it though, man. That's my take on it. So let's not do too much excess baggage on high expectations on people and expect them to be obligated to be able to speak on political bullshit as far as like racial and all the other stuff that's just been going on for years. That's just been going on for years though, you know what I'm saying? And and I'm not hearing and I'm not hearing no solutions behind it. So anyway, that's my take on it. I just wish sometimes people I wish sometimes people stop with the high expectations on a perfect album or a perfect song or a perfect whatever it is, man. Like, come on. Let the artist be artist. All right. That's my take on that right there. Boom. All right. All right. So we need to talk about some stuff in regards to Black Panther. Um let's get into the segment right here called the movie Man Cave Popcorn, and the story is about Black Panther. So let's get into it right about now. Okay, you want to hear how Black Panther did in the box office? Let's take a look here. And this is no spoilers, folks. This is not spoiler stuff, though. All right, I'm not doing any spoilers and anything like that. I'm just gonna talk about how it did in the box office and all that great stuff whatsoever, and including the Happy Meal that's dedicated to Black Panther, which I will talk about next. So let's get into this right here. All right, so after an unexpected death of T'Challa from an unknown disease, the nation of Wakanda finds itself in mourning. Queen Ramonda has lost her son, and Princess Shuri has not only lost her brother, but her role model and hero. But there is a little time to transition to mourn as Wakanda finds itself in a time of a major transition. Of course, they have promised to share their technology with the rest of the world, and the world intends to hold them to their promise voluntarily and involuntarily. Without the Black Panther to protect them, the world perceives Wakanda as being vulnerable. Okay, so let's get into it. So, um, all right. So, but the U.S. is not waiting for Wakanda to share the precious vibranium metal. They began their own search for the alien resource. I'm like, what? Wait, hold on. What I'm doing here? Wait, what am I doing here? What am I doing here? All right, let me just hold on a second. I'm not even gonna do the spoiler thing. Hold on. I don't want to do that. That's not what I meant to do. I was trying to look for the box office, folks. I'm sorry. Anyway, let me find the box office thing because let me see. Sorry about that. Um Okay, I was trying to look for the box office thing. Sorry about that. Um, Wrong website. Give me a second. Give me a second though, man. Give me a sec. Um, Give me a second though. Oh yeah. Oh wait. It didn't disappoint yet. So yeah, it did not disappoint. So pretty much, it didn't really disappoint though. So let me just find a way to actually do this. Yeah, it did not disappoint. Um yeah, I'm not gonna get into any spoilers, so I want to give people time to actually watch the movie. So that way I can review it on my other platform, which is going to be Meticulous Virtues Podcast Review Show. Um it takes first place in the box office. Let's get into it. Let's see. So let's get into the results. So how much it made in the box office. All right, so let's get into it. Black Panther Wakanda Forever leaped to the top spot at the South Korean box office with a dominant 80% market share, worth $6.53 million over the weekend. In its first 5 days on release, the film amassed $8.87 million. Wow. The total was achieved on 2,538 screens, according to data from Kobe's, the theatrical tracking service operated by the Korean Film Council. The superhero title easily brushed aside last week's chart topper Confession, relegating it to $642,000 and a distant second place. Well, wait. After 3 weeks on release, Confession has accumulated 5.9 no $5.19 million, a total Black Panther pass in 4 days. Um, while the change of ranking was dramatic, the numbers were far from super heroic. Rather, they were in keeping with the depressed state of Korea's theatrical. Hold on a second. Theatrical Theatrical. Hold on a second. Hold on one second. Theatrical. Hold on a minute. Hold on. Wait for it. Wait for it. Um. Yeah. Yeah. Hold on a second. Yes, Korea's theatrical sector since a summer sizzle fizzled out. Black Panther Wakanda Forever managed only the 10th best opening weekend score of the year. The nationwide box office aggregate at $8.16 million was stronger than the eight most recent weekends, but ranked only as the 12th largest of 2022. The original Black Panther released in Korea on February 14, 2018, and achieved $20.6 million in its first 5 days. It registered at $34.9 million cumulative. That stands as that year's ninth largest haul. Over the latest weekend, everything, everywhere, all at once climbed the rankings from fifth spot to third with $251,000 over the weekend, producing a 5 week total of 2.37 million dollars. I don't know why I'm doing Japanese stuff, but anyway, um, I don't even know why I'm doing Japanese stuff, but anyway, let me get to the real deal here. Let's get to the real stuff. Yes, let's get to the real deal. So yes, so Marvel's Black Panther Wakanda Forever dominated the box office in its debut, earning $180 million over the weekend and providing a much needed lift to beleaguered cinemas. The sequel demolished the record for a November opening in North America, soaring past the previous high water mark of $158 million set by 2013's The Hunger Games Catching Fire globally. The superhero adventure netted a spectacular $330 million and $150 million of that figure coming from 55 overseas markets. That's a prime example of a movie that didn't disappoint, folks. For those of you who didn't get a chance to watch it, go check it out in theaters, or you can even watch it at home, even though the tickets is pretty expensive. You know what I'm saying? So let's continue here. Its success has a bittersweet undercurrent, however. That's because the filmmakers behind the sequel faced a shocking off screen tragedy before production even commenced when the late great Chadwick Boseman, the actor who had given 2018's Black Panther so much of its soul, had died in 2020 of colon cancer. He was only 43 years old. In response, Ryan Coogler, the film's director and co-writer, refashioned Black Panther Wakanda Forever into a tribute for the late actor. In the movie, the kingdom of Wakanda is grappling with the death of King T'Challa, and art imitates life situation that gave the film greater emotional um, renaissance resonance. Um. Okay, so critics praise Coogler's deft handling of the difficult material with varieties Owen Gleiberman writing. Wakanda Forever has a slow burn emotional suspense. Once the film starts to gather steam, it doesn't let up. There were other hurdles facing Black Panther Wakanda Forever. The $250 million production was shot in the midst of COVID and also had to contend with an injury to one of his stars, Letitia Wright, that required filming to be suspended. Hmm. That's to say nothing of the dramatically altered theatrical landscape that it now must navigate. When Black Panther hit screens 4 years ago, China and Russia were still major film markets, but China has become more inaccessible to Hollywood fare, and Russia's invasion of Ukraine means that studio films no longer screen in the country. So Black Panther Wakanda Forever will be a global powerhouse, but it probably won't hit the $1.4 billion mark that its predecessor achieved. Never say never. As it stands, Wakanda Forever has the second biggest domestic debut of the year, behind the $187.4 million launch of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Mm. It also commands that the third best slandemic era bow behind the aforementioned Doctor Strange adventure and Spider-Man No Way Home, which got started with $260 million. Um, Tony Chambers, EVP and head of theatrical distribution at Disney, Marvel's parent company, ascribed the film's success to the Marvel track record as well as the quality of the filmmaking. Most films steered clear of Black Panther Wakanda Forever. However, Steven Spielberg's semi autobiographical The Fablemans opened in limited release, premiering in four theaters in New York City and Los Angeles. The film earned a solid $160,000 for an average of $40,000 per screen. It faces its real test when it goes wide on November 23rd. The movie, a portrait of the boy who grew up to give us Jaws as a young man, has been generating awards heat, but it faces commercial headwinds. Movies like Tar, Till, Armageddon Time, and Triangle of Sadness are beloved by critics, but have struggled at the box office. Adult audiences, it seems, have yet to come back to cinemas in force after the slamdemic. In fact, Spielberg's most recent effort, 2021's West Side Story, bombed despite its glowing reviews. Damn. Will The Fablemans, a tender-hearted family saga, be the thing that gets older crowds back into multiplexes? The $40 million drama does seem to be connecting with those who see it. It earned an A cinema score rating, which bodes well for word of mouth. Black Adam, which is also still in theaters, a comic book adventure from Warner Brothers in DC, nabbed second place at the domestic box office, grossing $8.6 million to push its domestic haul to $151.1 million. Universal's Ticket to Paradise, a rom-com with Julia Roberts and George Clooney, netted $6.1 million for a third place finish. That brings its stateside total to $56.5 million. Sony's Lyle Crocodile came in fourth with $3.2 million. It has grossed $40.8 million since opening last month. Paramount's low budget horror hit Smile rounded out the top five with $2.3 million. Yeah. The film, which cost a modest $17 million to make, um has earned an impressive $102.8 million domestically. That kind of result should leave the studio flashing its pearly whites. Theater owners have been desperate for some good news. Ticket sales have been anemic since the summer depression, an industry that was hit hard by COVID. Cineworld, the second largest exhibitor, filed for bankruptcy, and other theaters have been staring at possible insolvency. In this bleak atmosphere, Black Panther Wakanda Forever could not come soon enough. Disney saves the box office, said Jeff Bach, an analyst with exhibitor relations. What else is new? This is exactly what they were doing before the slamdemic, during the slamdemic, and after the slamdemic. Well, in other Black Panther news, McDonald's is actually doing a promotion. Um, yeah, McDonald's. Let's get to it. Hold on a second. There's a hold on a minute. Hold on. I know I saw this somewhere too. I know I saw this somewhere. Let's see. I know I saw this. Um yeah, wait. Oh, I know exactly what the yes, Happy Meal. Okay, here it is. Okay. Okay, Black Pan hold on. Black Panther Wakanda Forever, um, McDonald's Happy Meal news. Okay. All right. Let's see. So, of course, there it is. So, McDonald's um is giving moviegoers something to smile about this month. The fast food chain debuted a limited edition Happy Meal in anticipation of Marvel Studios' Black Panther Wakanda Forever, hitting theaters on November 11th, which last week. Each Happy Meal will include one of 10 Wakanda Forever superhero toys based on characters from the movie, from fan favorites like Shuri and Okoye to newcomers like Namor and Ironheart. According to Jennifer Heelan, VP of U.S. Marketing, Brand Content and Engagement at McDonald's, the first Black Panther movie inspired the fast food giant to celebrate the new meal. Um, she shared in a statement, and quote, it set a whole new standard for representation on the big screen. And now we're excited to bring that experience to our restaurants and help fans see and celebrate their inner hero with this new Happy Meal because seeing is believing. Yep. 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 Um, okay, so the new Black Panther Wakanda Forever Happy Meal will help fans see and celebrate the inner hero. She added, yes, I did that. So the new movie comes 2 years after Chadwick Boseman's death in 2020 and incorporates the franchise stars lost into the sequel. An official synopsis from Marvel states that Wakanda Forever follows Queen Ramona, played by Angela Bassett from 911 on Fox, Shuri, played by Letitia Wright, and Baku Winston Duke, Okoye, Denai Gurira, Nakia, played by Lupita Nyong'o, and Everett Ross Martin Freeman as they fight to protect their nation from intervening world powers in the wake of King T'Challa's death. Let's see. Those who got an early viewing of the film are speaking highly of it ahead of its theatrical release. Critic Tessa Smith wrote on Twitter that Wakanda Forever feels like a war movie, commending Tenach Huerta's performance as the villain Namor. Actually, he's more of an anti-hero. Um, it's emotional, heavy, intense, and phenomenal. Namor is an incredible and powerful villain, Smith wrote. Hashtag Wakanda Forever focuses on grief, loss, and vengeance. You aren't ready for the Marvel logo and mid-credit. It honors Chadwick perfectly. Cougar delivers a soulful, wondrous sequel that packs an emotional punch and effectively explores relevant world themes. Film critic Fico Cangiano wrote, a beautiful tribute to Boseman's legacy. Letitia and Tanakh are great, and the mid-credits scene is really moving. Okay, in other Black Panther news, let's talk hang on a minute. Um, hang on a minute here. Um, hang on a minute here. Let's get into. Hold on a second. Hold on a second here. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. All right. Let's talk about. We're gonna talk about the soundtrack too. Let's talk about the soundtrack. Since we on the Black Panther. So the album campaign to Ryan Coogler's Marvel movie also features Stormzy, Fireboy, DML, Pink Pantherish, E40, Rima, and others. So it's actually so the new Marvel movie, Black Panther Wakanda Forever is coming soon. Ahead of the film's theatrical release, Rock Nation Records, Def Jam Recordings, and Hollywood Records have shared the details of the soundtrack album. In addition to the Rihanna single "Lift Me Up," the soundtrack features Future, Burna Boy, Thames, Stormzy, Fireboy, DML, um, CK, E40, Pink Pantherish, Rima, and more. Find the track list below. Director Ryan Coogler, composer Ludwig Goran's son, Archie Davis, and Dave Jordan produced the Black Panther Wakanda Forever soundtrack album. Ryan and I talked about the importance of creating an immersive journey of sound and voice. Goranson said in a statement, if we used a song in the film, we wanted it to be the entire song and to be connected to the story. Thematically, We wanted to move the audience from grief to celebration. When you listen to the soundtrack, you can close your eyes and relive the experience of the movie. That was the intention. Yes. And of course, yes, it has wait a minute here. Includes Academy nominated movie Black Panther, Kendrick Lamar on the 2018 film soundtrack, which featured music by Lamar, SZA, and The Weeknd, Anderson .Paak, and Georgia Smith, James Blake, and more. Um, damn. So here are the track listings actually. So this is about 19 tracks. So basically, number one is Rihanna Lift Me Up. Number two, um, DB and Go Go. Sino M Solo. Camel and Fila. Young Stunner. Um, Love and Loyalty, Believe. Burner Boy, Alone. Thames, No Woman, No Cry. Viver Quintana. Um, I'm not gonna even butcher the I'm not even gonna I'm not even gonna butcher that right there. Um, full decute. Hold on. Food Ford Kush. Never mind. Anyway, Snow the Product, La Vida featuring E40. Stormzy Interlude, Five Boy DML number 9, Coming Back Fro You. Number 10, Toby and Wigwe. They won it, but no performed. 11, ADN Maya Collectivo, Pat Boy. Um, and number 12, OG Davey Future, um, Lehman Cello. CK Anya and Miri featuring Pink Panthers. Bloody Civilian. Wake Up featuring Rima. Ellie Pantera featuring Rima. DB and Gogo. Sino and Solo. Um, Blue Rojo and from Mudo. Number 18, Cali and Vita. Um, and 19 is Guadalupe de Jesus Chanput Mi Pueblo. Now hold on a minute. I know I saw somewhere that there was 40 international artists. So that's interesting right here. That's 40 artists that's in there. Oh wow. So the Black Panther Wakanda Forever music from and inspired by soundtrack is slated to be released on November 4th by Rod Nation Records, Def Jam Recordings, Hollywood Records. It was produced by Ryan Coogler, Ludwig Göransson, Archie Davis, and Dave Jordan. Wait, hold on. Doesn't Rihanna got another song that's on the soundtrack too, besides Lift Me Up? Something like that. This week, the lead single from Rihanna, Lift Me Up, sets radio history in the United States by being the song with the most spins and listeners added in a single day. Over 40 international artists recorded songs for the Black Panther Wakanda Forever music from and inspired by soundtrack in Lagos, Nigeria, Mexico City, London, and Los Angeles. Rihanna, Thames, Fireboy, DML, OG Dave V featuring Future, CK featuring Pink Panthers, E40, and many other musicians are featured. So the soundtrack's original songs and score were written and produced by Ludwig Göransson, who has won 2 Emmys, 2 Emmys and an Oscar. He was particularly prepared to oversee all sections of the soundscape due to his significant experience working as a producer of musicians, of course, Childish Gambino, Adele, Haim, Justin Timberlake, as well as scoring movies and TV shows. Of course, Black Panther, Creed, and The Mandalorian. Gorison spent over 2,500 hours recording the score and soundtrack, citing the songs and score are one. From co-writing the lyrics for the Rihanna song "Lift Me Up" to suggesting Thames, a Nigerian singer-songwriter, perform a cover of Bob Marley's "No Woman No Cry," and bridging it with Kendrick Lamar's "All Right" for the movie's instantly popular trailer. Coogler was heavily involved in the creation of the soundtrack for the movie. Garrison said, "Ryan and I talked about the importance of creating an immersive journey of sound and voice. If we used a song in the film, we wanted it to be the entire song and to be connected to the story thematically. We wanted to move the audience from grief to celebration. When you listen to the soundtrack, you can close your eyes and relive the experience of the movie. That was the intention." Doesn't she have another one? I know she has another one. I could have sworn I heard that she has another one. Could have sworn. Hold on, let me take a look here. What is it? Born Again? Wait, Born Again is not on the soundtrack. Oh wow. Born Again is not on the soundtrack. That's crazy. Wow. So, um let's see. In other hold on a second. There's a person who I want to get to is what is it? Lexus Mia Phillips. Okay, with the nationwide debut of Black Panther Wakanda Forever, luxury car brand Lexus has teamed with Marvel for a look into the Afro-futuristic world with the assistance of the brand's first fully electric vehicle, the Lexus RZ450E. The vehicle is the center of a new marketing campaign, an electric future, starring actress um, Denai Guerrera in the role of General Okoye and her all-woman warriors. The Dora, the Dora Milaje. This is the third time Lexus and Marvel Studios have teamed up for collaboration. The key component of the campaign is the 90-second spot, directed by Anthony Lenardi III, which sees General Okoye and the Dora Milaje traveling in the RZ450E and engaging in a battle with pursuing enemies. Speaking with the source, Mia Phillips, senior manager, advertising and media, Lexus detailed the Marvel and Lexus collaboration of the campaign, the electric future of the auto industry, and more. So let's see. So she did it. So Mia Phillips did an interview, and I'm just gonna go through this. So, so with the source. So the source. I'm not gonna ask you for any details, but I would like to know: have you seen Black Panther yet? I have not. I haven't seen the full thing. I've seen bits and pieces. I have two members of the team that was at the premiere. They have seen the whole thing, and they are sworn to secrecy. Disney puts you under the lock and key and safe deposit box and everything else in the world. Yeah, it's amazing with the first Black Panther and even with Eternals because we just partnered with Marvel on the Eternals last year. We saw the entirety of the script, so I knew the movie backward and forwards. We had a really good chance to understand exactly how the brand would be represented. now understand what it must be like to partner in a movie like The Avengers, because Black Panther has become the Avengers of the Marvel's franchise. It was the film that no one saw really coming. They knew it would be successful. They didn't know how much or know that it would impact society overall. It was one of their largest grossing films ever, and because of that, now it's like impossible to launch the franchise. They don't want you seeing anything. And obviously, the unfortunate passing of Chadwick Boseman has really impacted them as well, because they have an extra responsibility to make this film the best that it can be. So this has been a totally different experience. So before we get any deeper into the business side, what is your plan for watching it? Is it something that you go with family, or are you going by yourself because you don't want anybody to see you cry? I'm going with my team. I don't mind my team seeing me ugly cry. We cry together almost every day. Work pain. We're taking the afternoon off on the 10th, and we will all be going together to see it. And then I'll turn around on the 11th and see it with the family. Alongside the rollout of this movie, we're we're being introduced to the first fully Lexus electric vehicle. How long has this vehicle been in development? So the vehicle has been in development for some time. By the time we got a sense that this vehicle was in development, um, I would say, um, I would say we were probably still 2 or 3 years away from it actually coming to market. So it's been in development for a while. So within that, we have the Electric Future campaign. How were this concept and campaign developed? Our partner Walton Isaacson, who is our agency for Black, Hispanic, and LGBTQ plus audiences, came to the table with a plethora of ideas, and we were pleasantly surprised at the different takes on electricity. For the Lexus brand, I remember a year and a half ago talking to the chief engineer of the RZ, who is in Japan, and telling him we had this great opportunity with Marvel. We wanted to use his vehicle, and we needed like really highly confidential information that he typically doesn't give out. So we had to give him the ins and outs. He was super excited about being able to showcase this vehicle in this way. He couldn't think of a better way to get the first electric vehicle in front of consumers and gain awareness around it globally than the impact of Black Panther. So he was in, which was great. We knew that we were going to place Black Panther in our co-promotional activities. We wanted to place the vehicle in the film as well, but we couldn't because during the filming we only had a shell of a vehicle. Well, that's pretty interesting. Um, when you think of Wakanda and Black Panther, you think of innovation and technology, the future forward thinking, elegance, and power. The RZ450E is our most technologically advanced vehicle ever, and that made it a natural fit. We narrowed it down to creative ideas down to 2 or 3, and Marvel really liked this one. Then for casting, we had our eyes on General Okoye, played by um, Denai Guerrera. For a while, I mean, there is no bigger powerhouse in the film than her. Being able to work with her was such a treat. We were so glad when she actually said yes to the partnership, because we had the script written and she saw it was true. It was to her character. The authenticity that she brings made this turn out really well. We couldn't think of any better way to bring this vehicle to market than by partnering with Marvel Studios on Black Panther specifically to showcase our battery electric. Wow, that's wow. This is pretty awesome actually. Now, for those of you who may not seen the car, I think you can actually I think you can actually find the I have to look for the commercial for it though, actually. But there's some pictures online you can actually look through. So I'm not gonna spend too much on this. So you can go to the source.com slash 2022 slash 1110 slash Lexus Mia Phillips RZ 450E Wakanda Forever, which is part of the movie that's out right now. So you can check that out for yourself. And yeah, so let's get into hold on a minute. All right, we're gonna get into another segment. Um we're gonna get into another segment right here. Um, this one right here is what I like to call munchies and drinks. All right, this is where I tell you and inform you about the stories in the eats and drinks section. So let's get into it right about now. Um, so let's get into it. Our eat and drink story, according to amny.com, is basically about Pinkmas. So it's the beginning to look like Pinkmas. From November 17th, 2022 through January 9th, 2023, the Museum of Ice Cream will be hosting its annual Pinkmas celebration. Pinkmas at um MOIC takes the fun that the museum normally offers and dials it up to add in more festive cheer. In addition to the usual interactive experiences that MOIC is famous for, Pigmas is adding in limited time activations such as the Pigmas Tree Forest, a take home paper gingerbread house craft activity, and a life size snow globe that you can step inside and snap that perfect picture in. As usual, the Museum of Ice Cream, that's what the acronym stands for. Yeah, the Museum of Ice Cream visitors can explore the activations at their own pace, including the famous sprinkle pool. Along the way, guests will be able to sample all sorts of ice cream treats, including pink peppermint, soft served topped with a hold on, maraschino cherry, hard scoops with candy cane sprinkles, and milk and cookies soft served covered in chocolate chip cookie bites. Yum, yummy. During Picmas, the Museum of Ice Cream Cafe will also offer a selection of seasonal cocktails and treats celebrating some of the best flavors of the season. Some of this year's seasonal options include the gingerbread milkshake topped with whipped cream, sprinkles, and a festive gingerbread cookie, the mulled apple cider made with fireball, apple cider, and red wine, and a three scoop sundae with caramel whipped cream and pigment inspired sprinkles. Yum. When you buy your tickets, you can add on sweet or boozy treats for a discount. Oh man. The Museum of Ice Cream is located at 558 Broadway in in NoHo. I think they meant to say Soho, but anyway. Tickets for Pigment start at $25 on weekdays, we $33 on weekends, and free for children 2 and under. Okay. Hmm. For more information, you can go to the museumoficecream.com for for more details. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Anything else? Anything else? Hold on. Yeah, I think that's it, man. I think that's it though. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode right here. Let me see if I covered the bases. Yes, I did. Yeah, I covered the bases already. So now I'm going to go to we're gonna go to our last segment of the night. Um Last segment of the night is dream choices on the go. So let's get into it right about hold on a second. Let's get into it right about hold on a second. I'll be back. Sorry about that. I had to go use the bathroom real quick. Um, all right, so let's get on screen here. All right, here it is actually. Okay. Yes. So this is a segment where I actually inform you where you can follow the show on social media and where you can actually listen to the podcast episodes and stuff like that. So let's get into it right here. You can you like to support this show whatsoever. Um all you need to do is go ahead and show your love by following Off the Meat Rat Chainz New York podcast on Facebook and Instagram, alongside with my other two shows. It's also on the gram, which is Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast, the Sports Edition show, and the review show, Meticulous Vibe Juice podcast. That's also on there too. And you can follow me, your homie, G Money Stacks 555 in Queens, New York. Turn on your notifications for updates on when each episode is going to be dropping. And of course, and of course, um, and of course, I will fill you in on where you can listen to the episodes. By going to the link in bio, you're gonna see the link that says Linktree / G Money Stacks 555 on there as well. And you can see all the audio streaming platforms that's included, which I will get to right about now. Um yes, so you can also leave a voice message on anchor.fm / gmoneystacks / message. And speaking of Anchor, that's where we're gonna start with. You can you can actually if you don't have these apps, don't worry. All the links is there. You can actually download these apps as I list them, starting with Anchor, Audacity, Audible, Audioburst, Amazon Music, Breaker, Castbox FM, Deezer, Listen Notes, Moon FM Podcast, Player FM, Pocket Cast, Podbay, Podfriend, Podopolo, Podorama, Podcast Index, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, Podverse, Reason FM, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Google Podcasts. Plus, you can listen to Off the Meat Rat Chainz New York podcast episodes on Radio Public, alongside with iHeartRadio, the number one app for music, radio, and podcasts. And you don't need a credit card or a debit card to download iHeartRadio and other apps, folks. You don't need that. You can also follow my other two shows that's also on iHeartRadio, which is Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast, Sports Edition show, and of course, Meticulous Vibe Juice podcast. Review show is also on iHeartRadio as well. And of course, be sure to actually catch up on the episodes whatsoever. And last but not least, make sure you grab the subscribe button for me on the YouTube channel page of G Money Stacks 555. Of course, click on the noti bell on when the show goes in the air via live stream. Leave a like and a comment along with the episodes. Share the episodes, share the videos, download these episodes, and of course, be sure to spread the word. Stay tuned for more video content, upcoming episodes, and previous episodes. And of course, share the podcast and link that says Linktree / G Money Stacks 555 with all the audio streaming platforms that's already there. And also make sure you actually subscribe to my other two YouTube channels, my two podcast page channels actually, which is Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast, the sports channel, and of course the review show Meticulous Vibe Juice podcast, also on YouTube as well. And so yeah, there you have it right there, folks. This has been an interesting episode right here. So this has been an interesting episode right here. and and for the most part, um, and for the most part, I like to say thank you to everyone that's been tuning in, rocking, and hanging out with me on the 206th episode titled Banana Split. Um, be sure to actually remember that the grind doesn't stop. Hard work, hard work pays off. If you want something, you gotta work hard and you have to earn it. New York wasn't built in a day. Um, most importantly, most importantly, find something that clicks to you, that gets you into your zone, and of course, think about your mental health. Yeah, find something that makes you happy and makes you smile mentally, physically, and spiritually, and of course, alongside with your creative ideas, your thoughts and stuff, and of course, what gets you into your zone creatively speaking, and alongside with tunnel vision. So listen, I'm gonna be out of here. I'm gonna be out of here. So I'll see y'all in the next episode. Stay liquid, take care of one another, and reach out to people that's going through something that's on the inside. It's not about what's on the outside. All right. Um and um and I will do the same with some people that I know. I'll reach out to see what's going on with them mentally, physically, and spiritually, which I feel this is very important because um we have to we have to break that stigma, man. We gotta break that stigma because it's not a taboo topic anymore. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how I feel about this though, man. I figured it's pretty much my duty to actually talk mental health, which is why I have this segment, mental health check-in, because it's all about your well-being. It's all about how you feeling, how you doing, and all that other stuff. That's pretty much why I'm actually pushing this though. You know what I'm saying? Um, and just to let you know, you are not alone in all this on whatever you're going through. I mean, there's other people that actually, you know, care about you. You know what I'm saying? So look out for those who care for you and all that other stuff. So there you have it right there. All right. I'm about to, like I said, man. If you missed any previous episodes whatsoever, please feel free to catch up on the episodes. Um, it really mean a lot to me if y'all had a chance to check out these episodes of each New York episode of this podcast platform. Um, and that's it, man. Peace and one love. Take care of yourselves and have yourselves a good night, folks.